All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about one of the boldest economic transformations happening anywhere in the world: Saudi Arabia's mission to become a global maritime powerhouse. And believe me, this is way more than just building a few new ports. It's a cornerstone of its Vision 2030, a plan to completely redefine the country for a new era.
For most of our lives, when you think of Saudi Arabia, you think of desert, you think of oil, but that picture is changing and fast. A whole new reality is being built along its coasts, one that's designed to link three continents and reshape the very flow of global trade. So that brings us to the big question, right? How on earth do you build a world-class, high-tech maritime ecosystem basically from the ground up? Well, that's what we're here to unpack. We're going to look at the strategy, the tech, and the key players who are making this all happen. So here's how we'll break it down. We'll start with the big vision. Then we'll get into the cool stuff, the digital and green tech they're using. After that, we'll look at the massive infrastructure going up, how it all plugs into the global market, and finally, what this all means for the future. First things first. To really get what's happening, you have to understand the why behind this colossal undertaking. And it all goes back to a single, incredibly ambitious national plan. At the heart of it all is Saudi Vision 2030. This is the master plan for creating an economy that doesn't just rely on oil. And for the maritime sector, the Transport General Authority, or TGA, is the one in the driver's seat. Their job is to oversee this whole new integrated system, bring in private money, and make sure the absolute latest technology is at the core of everything. Now, a vision this huge can't run on old-school tech. It needs a quantum leap forward. And that's where the digital wave comes in, powering this whole new maritime era for the kingdom. And let's be clear, we're not just talking about putting more ships in the water. No. The real game changer is how those ships and the ports and the entire supply chain operates. It's all about building a system that's intelligent, connected, and can almost predict the future. So what does that look like? Well, you've got companies like AIGC and Fathom.io building the AI brains of the operation. And then you have incredible tools like Marlin from Sercel, which can cut the time it takes to schedule logistics by a whopping 75%. This isn't just a minor upgrade. This data-first approach means smarter routes, less fuel burned, and a much more reliable supply chain for everyone. And then you've got the robots. They're taking on the jobs that are, dirty, dangerous, and just plain difficult. So instead of having people hanging off the side of a massive ship, you have robots from Robot++ crawling all over the hull, stripping off rust and old paint. At the same time, systems from Hydwin as using high-pressure water jets to clean and repair ships, making the whole process way faster and, more importantly, safer. Of course, all this amazing tech is pretty useless if it can't talk to each other. It needs a solid nervous system. On land, you've got AITs rolling out 5G and IoT networks. Out at sea, Inmarsat provides that crucial satellite connection. But the real magic happens with platforms like Tabadl, which digitize all the customs and port paperwork, making sure that global trade flows like water without getting stuck in red tape. Okay, so you can't build a 21st century maritime industry without also making it a green one. Saudi Arabia gets this. They're not just building bigger, they're building smarter and cleaner, directly tackling the environmental footprint of shipping. And this focus on sustainability is pulling in some amazing innovators from around the world. I mean, check this out. Artemis Technologies is creating 100% electric boats that ride on foils, literally flying over the water with zero emissions. Meanwhile, others like Siemens are making hybrid systems to cut emissions on bigger ships, and TMC compressors have tech that can slash energy use by half. It's happening at every level. And to prove this isn't just for show, look at Sail. This is a company owned by the kingdom's own public investment fund, and its mission is crystal clear: protect the marine environment. These guys are the guardians of the local seas, on call to handle things like oil spills. This shows that the green focus is baked into national policy. It's not just good PR. So we've got the vision, the tech, and the green light. But you can't be a maritime power without the actual, physical hardware. Let's look at the unbelievable infrastructure being built, from the world's biggest shipyards to state-of-the-art ports. Now, this massive build-out didn't just pop up out of nowhere.
It's standing on the shoulders of decades of experience, going all the way back to Saudi Aramco's own marine department in the 70s. You can see the key steps along the way, like setting up the TGA in 2012. These were the crucial building blocks for what came in 2017, the creation of a true behemoth, International Maritime Industries, or IMI. And when I say behemoth, the scale is just mind-boggling. IMI Shipyard is 11.4 million square meters. To give you some perspective, that's bigger than a lot of major international airports. It's basically a self-contained maritime city, the biggest in the entire region, and it's capable of building giant supertankers from scratch. The strategy here is really smart. It's about creating a rich, diverse ecosystem. While IMI gives them that massive, world-class capability right at home, they're also partnering with the best in the business globally. They're working with regional experts like Grandweld and tapping into the specialized skills of builders like Sanmar in Turkey, who are famous for their high-tech tugboats. It's about mixing local ambition with proven global expertise. Okay, so having incredible shipyards and ports is one thing, but the next step is weaving them all together into a perfectly smooth logistics network that can serve as a new heart for global trade. The big goal here is to just completely get rid of the old way of doing things. Separate systems that don't talk to each other, endless stacks of paper, and no real idea where your shipment is. The new way, built on digital platforms from companies like Tabadul and Logista Oz, is all about total transparency. A world where you can track a single container in real time from the factory to its final door. And the sheer size of the operation is staggering. Out at sea, you've got the national shipping line Bahri, working alongside global titans like CMA CGM. And back on land, a single terminal like the Red Sea Gateway can handle over 5 million standard shipping containers every single year. The capacity they're building is just immense at every point in the chain. What you end up with is a true ecosystem, not just a list of companies. It's a well-oiled machine. You've got government authorities like the TGA setting the strategy, local champions like Bahiri flexing their muscles, and critical international partners bringing in decades of global experience. Every single piece of this puzzle depends on the others to work. So let's pull it all together. When you combine this kind of vision, this technology, this infrastructure, and this level of collaboration, a brand new maritime horizon really starts to come into focus. The future isn't some far-off idea. It's being built right now on the shores of the Red Sea and the Arabian Gulf. It really all comes down to 4 massive pillars. First, the incredible financial power of public-private partnerships. Second, a fearless leap into the future with AI and robotics. Third, a real, tangible commitment to sustainability. And fourth, a smart strategy of working with the best partners from all over the world. Together, these pillars are forging a new powerhouse in the maritime world. With all these pieces snapping into place at such an incredible pace, you have to ask the question, or not just watching a country upgrade its ports. We are watching the deliberate, methodical, and well-funded creation of an entire maritime superpower from scratch. So the real question isn't if it's happening, but what happens next as the world witnesses its rise.